Hello everyone, and welcome to, I guess, the long-anticipated world tour of my survival world, which is kind of laggy right now, but that's because my computer's being a piece of crap, but that's besides the point. So, on this day, February 3rd, 2021, I created this survival world on my Xbox One, just with the pure intentions of beating the Ender Dragon as fast as I possibly could. Now, there's nothing special about that, because I've done that several other times with other worlds, and those worlds never stuck. But for some reason, I just kept playing in this world and playing on it, kind of like a survival world after that point, and it just kind of stuck. And I actually did try and make another world to replace this survival world, and I just oh man, I actually want to return to this world. So yeah, at this point, I'm glad to say that this survival world has, I guess, officially stuck and become my long-term survival world, which is a good and bad thing, because I like what I've accomplished and done on this world, but I'm not a huge fan of the seed itself. But I guess there's always workarounds for that. So I have no idea how long this video is going to be, but this is just going to be a general tour of my world. Now, there's not that much. This world's only existed for 6 months, and I've played it on and off for those 6 months, because there's been times, like right now, I have not been playing on here, because I've been focusing on the Forsaken Lands SMP. When Night Blazes was a thing, I was focusing on that. And there's also been other times where it was just playing other games and not really focusing on Minecraft. But nonetheless, let's just get started, I guess. Okay, so I guess I'll just show this the first thing, even though it's technically more advanced, if you will. This is my ocean flatlands. Oh, and by the way, this is the spawn point. I know this because I marked it with path blocks. I want to make something more interesting with the spawn point at some point. But I just wanted to, have some sort of marking that, hey, this is where spawn is. But then, if you fly over here, this is my ocean flatlands, which I think will be my most ambitious project yet, because it is very, very large. And I have maybe like a fraction of it done right now. Not only that, it's going to take a lot of time, it's going to take a lot of dirt that I have no idea how I'm going to get my hands on. So yeah, this is probably going to be my most ambitious project yet, but I think it'll be really cool once it's finished. So then I guess I'll show you my first build, I guess, on this world, which I think it technically is my first build. And this is this castle thing that I intended to make a house out of, but I never did, out of laziness, I guess. And here's the horse I had while killing the Ender Dragon. I believe that I've just kind of kept, even though I've zero use for it. And I'm actually not, in late game stages like this, I'm not fond of horses. But yeah, I guess this is the closest thing I have right now to a house, but I'm actually working on something that I hopefully plan to make like my main base later on. Which you'll see, because I started the construction of that, but it's nowhere near being close to being finished. Because like I said, I've not played on here in, I think, like almost 2 weeks at this point. But this is the area. I mostly just use this for like block storage and nothing else. Because I kind of want to keep things organized, if you will. And this is all stuff I put here when I first started this world. And I have wheat in my hand. That's why you're getting attracted to me. But this is all stuff I put here at the start of this world, and I just kind of kept it there. And this is kind of goes in with this main house castle thing. But I just have some general storage stuff here. I have music discs. I have a bunch of shulker boxes that I'm not using for anything in particular at this point. Oh, I have some of my netherite tools in there. I guess I'll grab those. And I do name my stuff. I do color code it. So my armor is very unoriginal. It's just L, which means the in Spanish, I'm pretty sure, if my memory is correct. But there's the cap. I didn't name my elytra. Okay, I just named that pants in blue. L boots, L shirt. My sword is named Polaris, because it's just, I don't know, it seems like a cool name. It's like kind of like a winter-esque name kind of thing. It just seems like a cool name. The name is actually somewhat inspired. Oh, I dropped it. Well, it's nighttime. Let's just quickly sleep anyway. The name of the sword was kind of inspired by Adorable Hose. I think his sword is named for Queese. I'm like, oh, I don't want to name my sword a cool name like that, so I just did Polaris. I probably will reference like Adorable Ho a lot in this, because I think a lot of the stuff I do on here, or like plan to do, is inspired, at least somewhat inspired by stuff he has on his world. So yeah, that's just a little tidbit of information there. Then this is my Silk Touch pickaxe that I use primarily for mining. just in general. And I have this, which is the reason I named it Zap is because it's such a it breaks things very fast, like dirt and stuff. It's like insta mines it basically. So I just thought Zap was a fitting name. I just named that. Miney thing. You can tell I'm very good at naming stuff. But this is like my fortune pickaxe that I just use to fortune out ores at this point, honestly. Then I have El Chop because you're chopping wood down. But yeah, this is just this. I do have a little bit of bamboo growing there, but yeah, there's not much to show about this. I have the dragon head there and a few banners from raids I've fought. Which surprisingly, I don't have a lot of. And here's this random patch of crystals. I can't think of the name of this at the top of my head right now. That's kind of embarrassing, but yeah, let's just go with that. Like geode crystals. That's what it's made out of. And here's my project board of stuff I want to do. I can take that. I finished that. Finished the ocean flatlands, flatten more areas around the desert and mountaintops. Kind of done that. Could still do a little more. Get more sheep and dye. Kind of did that. Torch the general area up. Still need to do that. Make a map wall. I'm not even close to doing that. Expand extreme farms, which we'll get into that in a moment. Build a giant. Okay, yep. You get the point. Now this I did somewhat early on, but this is probably one of the things I'm most proud of, even though it's pretty freaking useless if I'm being honest. This is a mega beacon. It's a 6 powered beacon, and this is purely made out of emerald. Which when I first made this thing, it might even appear in some of my, like one of my earliest videos. I think the first video I did film on this channel. I don't recommend watching it. It's not a good video at all. The audio is just terrible on it. But one of the earliest things, I guess. Although it's not too early, because obviously it took a lot of materials to get. But it's right now purely made out of emerald, but it was made out of all sorts of stuff, like emerald, iron, gold, stuff like that. But now that I've done a ton of villager trading, it's because that's how I used to repair my tools. I'll show you how I repair them now. But now it's full emerald. This is one of the things I'm most proud of, because I saw like in Toy Cat's world. This world's greatly inspired by Toy Cat's world, which I think is standard for most people, like in the 4Cat community at least. But I always wanted a mega beacon because I saw that Toy Cat had one. It just seemed like so ridiculous to me, but it's like so cool at the same time. Because it's like, it just seems to me like a giant flex to me to have a mega beacon. So I'm like, oh, I want one of those. And here we have, well, I want to build kind of like what Toy Cat has. It has like a giant, like, smelter, like that. I forget the name of that too. It's like a cooker, I think is what it's called. But I want to build like a giant replica furnace here. And this is where my auto smelter is stored, / XP farm. Which I've already demonstrated how this works before on other videos, but basically you flip the lever, activates the redstone, disables the hoppers, and that's already if you have a bunch of stuff smelted in here, which I do, at least in that part. I have nothing in those two. But and then if you smelt stuff, if you have the redstone enabled and you smelt stuff and you just collect it, it'll basically duplicate the XP, and it is way more efficient at repairing my tools than villager trading, because that's very time consuming. I have to chop down a lot of trees and trade with the Fletchers with that. And then up next we have my warehouse, which was kind of inspired by the bank at Toy Cat, but I just made it purely a stone building. And I do have this, yeah, see this little effect I have here? That was inspired by the bank at Toy Cat especially. It's like, because like when you stepped in that pressure plate, like made that nice noise with the jukebox. I'm like, I kind of want to do something like that in my world. But this is my main storage area for non-block items right now. It's not organized as well as you would think. I just have signs saying, oh, this is what's stored here. And over here, there's not that much I have here yet. But this will probably be retired for some part soon. I'm thinking maybe I'll just use this for, since a lot of the stuff I do have in here already is like mob related. I might just like use this area for like mob related items storing, but I guess that's undecided yet. Here's all my ores, which I have, I think, of everything. Lapis is over here for some reason, but that's not as important of an ore, so I'll just leave that separate. And up here I have nothing of too much notice. It's just pretty much empty. I only use the bottom part of this. And yeah, and then over here we have what I call Bamboo Island, which this is kind of an odd thing, because when I was going to kill the Ender Dragon, I found I believe it was a sunken ship that had bamboo in it, and since I have yet to discover a jungle biome on this world, I'm like, oh, because bamboo is quite a useful thing to have when it's just like a very pretty decoration block, at least in my opinion. So I'm like, so I just planted a bunch of it on this island, and it just kind of all grew, and it's kind of stuck. And this is technically what I use as a bamboo farm for like scaffolding and stuff, which I was using earlier for the project I'm most recently working on, which you will see in a minute. And then here we have this village, this Acacia Village, which is the closest village to spawn, which I built a whole wall around. I don't know why I did that, because right now this village has no use whatsoever. Like, there's no villagers in this thing or anything. I thought I was going to keep villagers in here, I guess, but I never did, because I transported all the villagers that were in here to another place, which I'll show in a minute. But, I guess the only thing I plan on doing with this is I want to turn this into like a custom village. I'm thinking maybe like a warped forest type of village, just get a bunch of warped wood and just convert all the houses. I'm going to need terracotta for this too, because I want to make it like as resemblant as possible to this, but just in blue, I guess. And this is technically my Netherwart farm that I have on here. Although I don't use potions much at all on this world. I don't really have any reason to. Because I will be honest, the times I do kill the Wither on this world, I switch it over to easy mode, because fighting the Wither on normal or hard mode it's not a fun task at all, and I don't feel like doing it. But that's why I managed to kill the Wither so many times on here, is because I just switched it over to easy mode. Which obviously in other worlds, like the SMP, we're not going to be able to do that, so I'll probably have to limit the amount of beacons I have, because killing the Wither on there is hell. But yeah, we have this village kind of thing going on, and yeah, I did place a lot of torches down. I just spammed torches down around so mobs wouldn't spawn, which again is pointless because there's no villagers in here to begin with. But hey, it looks kind of cool when you're flying over here at night. So what should I show you next? I guess I'll show you this, and I'll move to that. And this is the sugarcane farm I started. Well, this, by the sugarcane on the river, is the sugarcane farm I started when I started this world, and that's what eventually led to this. Now, obviously, this is inspired by Toy Cat Sugarcane Farm. Like, I want to... As you can tell, I enjoy extreme farms. And obviously, this took me a while to build, and this is not even anywhere close to the size of Toy Cats. And I think I did the math, and I think this is a 20th of the size of Toy Cats. Because, fun fact, Adorable Ho did a live stream where he collected the entirety of Toy Cat Sugarcane Farm. I think he got like 20 shulker boxes full of sugarcane, which this will give you about a little over one shulker box full of sugarcane. So that's how I did the math there. But yeah, it's just a sugarcane farm. It's definitely inspired by his Toy Cats, just by everything done with it. And I do want to expand it at some point, but that's not a high priority because this thing already produces enough sugarcane that'll last me a good while. Alright, and here, this is my extreme, I want it to be, but right now it's just kind of like a wheat farm kind of thing. Or no, it's like an everything kind of farm. I have like all sorts of different crops here. Mostly wheat. I want to see how high do I have this going up here right now. It's definitely not all the way up, but I just basically because the most one source block of water will do is 4 blocks out, so I just did a 4x4 out thing like that. And just built it all the way to sky height, which I want to make it so this also goes down all the way to bedrock soon as well, which I want to expand that at some point as well. I'm trying to see how far does this go up. Okay, so to about like 150, I want to say. So it's actually pretty good. I still have like 100 more levels to go, but I need to harvest this again and plant all the seeds I get to make this go higher and higher. So because I do definitely want this to be full of crops. And again, this is way more crops than I really would ever need. But I'm just doing this because it's fun. Extreme farms are fun. I plan on building extreme farms on the SMP as well. Also, this thing. This is where I plan on building a tree farm, but I don't know if I am or not. because I think this is kind of a crappy location to do it, because if I build some big structure there, it's going to kind of block my view of a lot of things. I might like start it in creative mode and just see if I like it or not, but I might make the tree farm there. I might not. It just depends if I like it or not. But I really like that idea is inspired from Adorable Ho's tree farm on his survival, because I actually really like that setup, because it's just like several levels of just different trees. And obviously, I guess this is like a mix of like Toy Cat and Adorable Ho's inspired ideas. And obviously, here's this pathway, which I think most people have standard on their world. I just have spruce wood and like a stone brick pathway going to a lot of places that go through here. I guess next up I'll show you this. It's a 50 by 50 pyramid, and right now there's nothing in it at all. It's literally just completely empty. I'll show you this. I didn't even put torch in this thing, so right now it's probably jack full of mobs. Yep, you can see there's a spider in there, a creeper. There's absolutely nothing in this at all right now. I don't know why, but I'm just like, I want a 50 by 50 pyramid in my world. And I was thinking about expanding this to be 100 by 100, but I decided against that just because of how much space that would take up, because it would go well into that area, and there's other stuff I want to do in this area. Like I want this whole general area here. I want that to be an extreme farm area, and I want to make more automatic farms just to make my life a little easier, maybe. So you see this? I have this pathway going from there, and it goes all the way down and ends at that mountain, which I'm going to expand the pathways later on to certain other places. But yeah, now in here, the idea I have, I might just make like a maze or like some sort of like thing in here. Probably like a maze. That's probably the best idea I have for this right now. Maybe some other people could give me suggestions on that. So I guess up next, I will show you. Just know this is the area I spend a lot of time, because I've done a lot of trading in this world. This is the trees. I like these trees actually, even minus the whole villager trading thing. I just think they add a nice touch to my area, to my world, etc. But this is what I like to call Villager Mountain. You'll see why in a moment, and this is all the cats I've tamed from them spawning from all the villagers. I could get in here, and I have special protection for this. So I have like a council of librarians that I get to buy books from. A common thing like a lot of people like to do with this is they like to make them zombie villagers and then cure them. Which I personally, I don't really, I mean, it's good for certain things, but I just thought it was more of like a waste of time to do that, and a lot of waste of like resources for potions really, so I just didn't want to do that, and I think just leaving their trades as is for like, at least librarians is just good enough for me. Because these Fletchers, they want 32 sticks per emerald, and if you have like one of those spruce trees, if you just mine a lot of those, it'll get it done real quick. Anyway, but I have different types of villagers. You have, I don't know why I have that, it's horrible. I've gotten sharpness 5 villagers for like 20 emeralds before. But I just have, just an example, I have an assortment of all different sorts of villagers in here. Different prices. And obviously I did not cure any of these guys. They all have their standard prices, which again is not too much of an issue for me personally. Now I was actually fairly proud of this. This is also like one of the earliest things I did on this world. I think I did this right after I killed the Ender Dragon. Because in my opinion, this is the most efficient way to get good achievements, because we all know bedrock enchanting is god awful. Okay, you must be a new one. I don't know why that's in there. But yeah, this is all kind of messed up. That's a really good deal actually. 16 emeralds for Unbreaking 3. But yeah, I've not done anything with the whole villager hall thing in a while, which I want to change, because I want to get like a toolsmith and a armor smith. I don't really know, like the villagers that have armor, because I might want to start doing what Adorable Ho does. I want to start using like disposable diamond armor and diamond tools, and just start wearing that around, because if I die, then so what? That's kind of like a sneak peek of what I'm working on, and I've made lots of mentions to in the past. But here, I'll just show you. Well, this is what actually, I'll show you the statue first. Actually, no, I'll just show you the sheep farm first, because that's what I used to make that statue. But this is like where I keep all my sheep. And that might be what's lagging my game out. I really can't say for sure. But this is what I use to get colored wool, which is kind of an annoying process. And I do have quite a bit of sheep in here, but well, harvesting wool from sheep is just, I don't like it at all. It's just such a tedious and annoying process, and I'm going to need a lot of wool for what I'm working on, so I'm not too happy about it, or thrilled in the slightest. And they all gather by the door, because there's some bug on Bedrock where all the mobs just gather in one corner, and this is the corner they do it in. So that's just a major, major annoyance. And here we have, this is the statue that I made of my skin. And yeah, it's kind of messed up at the top, but I kind of had to do that for it to make sense. This is the statue I have my skin. I'm quite proud with how this turned out, honestly. But I know like Toy Cat has one. I really like the idea of having a statue of my skin in my survival world. So I did that. Although on my planned PlayStation, I can't necessarily get my skin on there because this is an imported skin from PC. So, but this is still my brand, if you will. This is my branded skin for this channel and just my character in general, so I still go along with it, even though I can't really necessarily use it on PlayStation. And I flattened this whole mountaintop here. I still need to do that mountaintop up there. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I can show you at the time being. There's my nether portal over there. I won't show you my nether or my end because I really have not done anything in either of those biomes at all. Like, I've just mostly been focusing on the overworld purely right now. And plus, I'm not really fond of the nether. I don't like it at all. But I do want to do end projects at some point, because I do think the end is kind of a cool dimension. They might be updating the end soon. Hopefully. The upcoming 1.19 update. That's rumored to come out. Or like, it's rumored to be the end update. And here's the thing that up to this point has taken me the longest. This is my Acacia Flatlands, which this took me about a month to flatten. Close to like about a month to flatten. And I remember like working on this like during school and stuff. Or just doing random different things. But this was very, like, you can see this whole, like, where it's kind of weird here. That's how high this went up to at certain points. Like 10 blocks above where I'm standing right now. So yeah, this whole area was like raised up pretty much, so this took me like close to a month to flatten, maybe like 3 weeks to a month to flatten. This thing is the project I've worked on the longest so far at this point that's taken me to complete, although I've worked a lot on the ocean flatlands, which that's going to take me probably even longer to complete. And reason I flattened this massive area is because I plan on building a city here, or starting construction on a city, which I've kind of done. I've built 4 major roadways, again, which I still need to add on to a little bit, which are actually symmetrical. These two here are 40 blocks, and these two, I believe, are 70, because I wanted it to be symmetrical, because that's just how I am. And then this here, you probably noticed, this is like a rainbow, kind of like a spiral rainbow thing that I'm building here. And I don't know if you know what I'm talking about with like a durable hose, like this like hole in the ground that like leads to this giant underground mined area. Like this giant area that's just been mined out. And here's all the double chests that are still here from when I was flattening this, funnily enough. But I want to do something like that, and I also want to like combine what Adorable Ho had and like what Jardins has with his like underground bunker on his survival world, where it's like kind of like this terraformed underground area where like he stores stuff. I just want to like make a whole base down here, and it's gonna be like the heart of the city, and this is going to be like my main base, if you will, base of operations, where I store certain things, just have things, you know. And I think this will be really, really cool once it's finished. I think this already has kind of a nice effect. But as you can tell, this takes a lot of wool. Which I might have to get more sheep or something. I don't know what I'm going to have to do with this yet. And down here, I think I have a spider spawner, which I want to do something with. Yep, I do. So I can, it's like right underneath here, so I might like make some sort of farm out of that, since it'll be a part of the city. But yeah, I don't really know if I have too much more to show. There's other random various villages around here that I do raids at, but I don't know if they're that important enough to show. Like that village over there, I've done raids at before, but it's not a good village to do raids at because the villagers like to. No, the pillagers like to spawn in caves on that village. So the village I've been fighting my raids at is that village over there, because that seems to be a pretty good spot to do it where you can easily access them. And yeah, I'm fairly proud of myself for sticking to a world this long. I've never done that before, and I have no plans to ditch this world anytime soon. Because I'm at this point, I want this to be my long-term world because of how long I've technically played on it and how much work I've put into it. So yeah, I look forward to what other stuff I do on here. And as of right now, this world is purely all my creation. I don't think anyone's ever joined this world once. So this is all everything I've done. Although that may change in the future because I do want to bring people on and maybe just build a thing or two for the city. But I do want to keep this world mostly my creation. I might have people on just to help with certain things like occasionally, but like I already said, I want this world to be mostly my creation because it's my survival world. But yeah, I'm excited for what other stuff I may do on the survival world and what future content this might leave for my channel future. And speak of the devil, there's a raid effect there now. So I hope you all enjoyed, and I plan to do another world tour once this world is a year old, and that's gonna be an even bigger, better milestone if you ask me. And hopefully I'll have a lot more stuff done on here that's actually worth showing. Goodbye for now.